The NHL postseason sizzles, and there's nothing like the excitement of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, you can have a ringside seat to all the action from start to finish. The scores, the hits, and the saves come your way at breakneck speed with cable TV's exclusive national coverage of the 1991 Stanley Cup playoffs.
The north end of the city is where you'll find Boston Garden, scene of many great moments in hockey history. 2 nights ago, Bruin ace Cam Neely's hard-hitting game was overshadowed only by his goal-scoring game, providing a huge challenge for Montreal's Mike McPhee.
He's a big, strong forward, and you have to play him smart.
Board. Ray Board, cross ice over Wesley's stick in front to Neely.
Another thing he does very well is he's an aggressive forward, and I try and get in his way so he can't get in and hit our defenseman to give our defenseman a second to throw up ice, and basically that's all I can do. I try and, just like anybody else, try and take my check with him, and when he gets in our zone, he's pretty well up to the defenseman and the centerman.
Weaver puts it back to the Montreal net. There's Janney out in front. Weaver, he scores! Today was a perfect day for a leisurely sail along the Charles River. There's nothing quite like Boston in the springtime as this city prepares for its share of sports excitement. And you're invited along for Game 2 of the Adams Division Final. It's the Bruins and the Canadiens on Sports Channel America. In Game 1, the entire Montreal Canadiens team had only 19 shots on goal. Certainly not enough to get the job done. Their snipers, people like Russ Courtnall, Denny Savard, and Stéphane Richer were kept off the scoreboard. A stifling Boston defense and fine goaltending by the Bruins netminder Andy Moe.
Yeah, well, as far as Montreal forwards are concerned, they've got the obvious skilled and speed players that will take the puck and come down at you, and they've also got the players that'll crash the front of the net, aren't afraid to come in there and looking for rebounds and making trouble. So those are the two elements we have to be aware of. Number one, as far as the speed is concerned, I think that our forwards are key there in picking up these people early on and not giving them a chance to build a good head of speed. And the second part is our defense just willing to pick up these players driving in the net and try to angle them away.
It'll be a sold-out Boston Garden again tonight. 14,448 will fill the seats here. And welcome to Sports Channel America's continuing coverage. The Adams Division Final, Game 2. What we saw in Game 1 was a very tight checking game. Only 3 goals and very few penalties called. Will it be the same tonight? Perhaps. The Bruins will try to play that defensive game, but they will have to compensate for the loss of defenseman Gary Galley. Montreal is expected to try and open up, especially in the neutral ice area. That's the only way that they're going to be able to force the young Boston defense and create any more scoring opportunities. I'll be joined in the booth again tonight by John Davidson. Let's get his thoughts on the opening game in this series.
Jigs, as we know, Cam Neely's already become the star of this series, not only with his offensive ability. We do know that he scored 51 goals during the regular season, leads the Bruins with goals here in the playoffs, but his defensive ability is starting to show now. He made one of the key plays during Game 1 in which he stripped Russ Courtnall of the puck and helped lead the Bruins down the ice to score the game-winning goal. He got himself into position like he always does, got away from the checker, and took a great pass from Rosie Rajicka to give the Bruins the win. Cam Neely has played well, and we expect more from big number 8 during the rest of the series. Jigs?
Well, John, we're just moments away from the opening face-off of Game 2, the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. The Patrick Division Final is underway as well. For an update on that, here's Bob Papa.
All right, thank you very much, Jiggs McDonald. At the Pittsburgh Civic Arena, the Penguins will try to even up their series with Washington. Now, there is some news out of Pittsburgh. Paul Coffey in the Pittsburgh newspapers ripped head coach Bob Johnson. He says they should use only 3 lines instead of 4. We'll keep you posted on all of that action as the 1991 Stanley Cup playoffs roll on after this.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game on Sports Channel America is brought to you by Mercury. See the exciting new line of 1991 Mercury automobiles at your Lincoln Mercury dealer. Nothing moves you like a Mercury. By Labatt's Blue, the crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer. Between friends, it's True Blue, Labatt's Blue. And by the Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor.
Too much of a good thing is a good thing. The new, incredibly comfortable Mercury Grand Marquis. All this on the quality of a Mercury.
Yeah, we just scored. No, I didn't see Kevin get hit. Kev, you okay?
I wind up in the hospital, and Bob gets a winning goal.
I couldn't let Kevin miss the party.
I was having a pretty good time where I was.
Friends deserve the best.
Friendship. Just being there.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
I have to be flat on my back to get Bob to buy me a Blue.
Between friends, it's True Blue, Labatt's Blue.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
and the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work, and the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments
We might look great bald.
and you decide you want hair, there's only one thing to do. See your doctor or call this number for more information.
Who's presenting tomorrow anyway?
The face.
Are we scanning in his latest PR photo?
Face. Somebody better make the type bigger.
This is excellent. Very precise. They've been very precise.
They're smiling. They're sold.
For documents that cut through, motivate, and persuade, nobody puts it together like Xerox.
Good morning.
Printing, scanning, publishing. Xerox, the document company.
Welcome back to Boston Garden as the Bruins take the ice. Let's just listen to this crowd and enjoy the atmosphere of Boston Garden for a moment. Well, you could say a warm welcome, certainly not a loud and long ovation, John Davidson.
Jiggs, I think the fans felt that it was a solid game 1 in this series, but certainly would like to see a little more offensive action. Scoring chances were very close. Guy Carbonneau was the man that made the mistake on the game-winning goal. Did admit it after the game that he should have had Cam Neely tied up. Cam Neely was left alone, just enough time for him to score. Montreal, I think, will be making one lineup change, putting Turgeon into the lineup and taking Ryan Walter out. The idea is to get more offense.
And got to find some way of stopping this guy, number 8, Cam Neely. You saw at the top of the show tonight, some hard hitting, forced some people off the puck, and then he created 2 goals. Well, actually, the creation was done thanks to Jenny and Ruzicka, especially on that second goal. A nice backhand, something that certainly Patrick Waugh didn't appear to be expecting, to tie the game at 1-1, and then Neely the winner.
Go back to the regular season and then include the playoff games that he's been involved with this season. That gives Cam Neely 33 goals in his last 35 games. Appears to be unstoppable at this point.
Neely didn't practice yesterday. Neither did Janney or Dave Poulin on the part of the Boston Bruins. The Montreal Canadiens, there was only one player missing from practice, and that was Russ Portnoy. Boston making a change tonight. Bob Beers will get to play. The defenseman who spent most of the season with Maine of the American Hockey League will take the place of Gary Galley. Gary Galley out with a hamstring problem, which
occurred near the end of the second period in Game 1. Galley left the building after the game on crutches, so there's no real time frame as to when Galley will be expected back. The Bruins had a choice between Ken Hammond and Beers. They decided on Beers to play defense in this game.
Beers is only 23 years of age. Boston making that change, and Montreal will get the defenseman back in the lineup that they missed the other night. Lyle Oldeline, 22-year-old defenseman, sat out a one-game suspension. And he'll return tonight. Pat Burns, always serious. I'll tell you, when this Montreal team came off the bus and walked into Boston Garden tonight, nobody smiled.
When they arrived prior to Game 1, he said, we have to win one of the first 2 games. It's that simple. Well, they were close in Game 1, and this is game number 2.
Capacity crowd being asked to rise now. Some had only settled back into their seats briefly, and now they're standing once more for the singing of both the Canadian and American national anthems. The soloist, Mr. René Rancourt.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, but true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, those broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and wrought a
Fasten your seatbelt. I think we're in for a good one tonight here at Boston Garden. The game will be refereed by veteran Ron Hogarth, same 2 linesmen, Gord Brossiker and Randy Mitten, joining Ron Hogarth.
Patrick Roy starts once again for Montreal. Montreal with a 3.66 goals against average is the highest of all 8 teams remaining with the goals against average. He did not practice this morning, decided to sit out the optional. Andy Moog did practice. Put on the gear, took some shots. He was very relaxed, and so he should be. He's only given up 3 goals over the last 11 periods of playoff hockey that he's played in.
2.58 goals against in the playoffs. Not bad. Poulin at center ice for Boston. Skrudlin for Montreal. Skrudlin wins the draw. Odeline chases it back, and the Canadians quickly bang one off the boards into the center ice zone. Don Sweeney has given it to Bork. Dave Christian dribbling on him. The pass ends up on Pullenstick. Cross ice. That's Grieco in front, and they can't bang it by Patrick Waugh. Good opportunity as Grieco went in to set up Christian. Now Poulin back at the Boston line. Don Sweeney shoots it around the boards. Patrick Waugh reached and missed. That's Grieco, number 18 for Boston. Pushed off the puck by Desjardins. Dave Christian unable to pick it up. And Richet's pass to Corson ends up in the Boston zone for the Sweeney. The Canadians forcing the play. They turn the puck over. Corson can't get to it. Christian does. Up the ice with Poulin on the left side. Christian shot takes off. Ends up in the seats. 49 seconds into the opening period.
Ray Bourque goes through a ritual before each game starts. During the national anthem, he stands away from his teammates, Jake, stands over on the boards near the Boston bench, and once the anthem is finished with, he'll skate in front of his teammates. Nobody leaves. He touches the ice, skates in front of everybody, and then when he cuts over the blue line, the other 5 members of the team will disband and go to their positions. It's a ritual they go through every game. A lot of hockey players go through their superstitions prior to game time to get themselves ready. They're not comfortable if they don't do it.
No, you're right. Every guy's got a little thing.
Patrick Waugh, remember talking to the goalpost he used to go through?
Bill Esposito had a couple of things that used to bother him.
He used to sit beside him in the dressing room in New York, and he had more paraphernalia hanging down from his locker. It looked like a gypsy locker. Rabbit's feet, everything hanging down. Beads, a little bit of everything.
I've been around teams where guys had to be either 6th, 7th, or 8th.
Oh, yeah.
In the line of players coming out of the dressing room. And trying to make it number 1 for Montreal with a lead here. McPhee, and he reaches back to take the feet out from under Janney as the Canadians now chase the puck back. Schneider slapping it off the boards. This will be an icing call against Montreal as Wesley is back to touch up. We're a minute and a half into the opening period of Boston Garden. Good look at Glenn Wesley. Face-off coming in the Montreal end of the ice.
When it's heartburn,
Plus gas.
get new Tom's Plus. Calcium-rich antacid relief plus gas-busting simethicone.
No other antacid gives you that.
New Tom's Plus.
I used to have dandruff, so I tried Head & Shoulders. Then I tried Selsun Blue. Blue is better.
Selsun Blue relieves dandruff flaking better than Head & Shoulders. And doctors recommend it more than Head & Shoulders, Denorex, and Tegrin.
Blue is better.
Selsun Blue.
One of the Montreal writers complaining today that these two, the coaches, Mike Milbury on the left, Pat Burns on the right, are being too nice to one another. It's time for one or the other to get mad. Let's get some controversy. Let's get something to talk about, write about.
They said Pat's talking to Mike, Mike's talking to Pat. He says these two didn't used to like each other so much. Let's get something going here.
Ken Hodge is waved out of the face-off area by linesman Gord Brossiker. So Bob Sweeney will face off against Denny Savard. Sweeney wins the draw. Hodge gets to the puck, stepping in front of Keane, and is picked up by Desjardins. Puck kicked loose for Savard. Gilchrist with him on the left side. Savard goes the other direction with the pass to the defenseman, Desjardins. Played it through center. And again, the Bruins choke off that area. Now the Canadians forced to dump it in. It'll be picked up by Ray Bourque. Bourque from back of the net. Checks his options. Makes the pass across. Gilchrist tips it into the center ice area and promptly forces Boston to chase it. Old tries the left side. There's Randy Burridge. Stump Burridge, they call him. Back to Raymond Bourque. Bourque trying to get away from Gilchrist. Got it into the Montreal zone. Waugh plays it away from Dufresne. Gilchrist gets bumped. Canadians up with it again, and the clearing pass through center will be handled now by Don Sweeney. Canadians in the middle of the change as Burridge takes the pass to the Boston Bruins. Comes to center ice. Right on him is Andy Castle. Stumps Burridge pretty good. Okay, goes cross ice there with that feed.
Turgeon now getting his first shift as Montreal has the 4th line on the ice.
Turgeon's pass was knocked out of the air and was bounced over the stick of Robert. Turgeon taking the place of Ryan Walter in the Montreal lineup tonight. This is Janney. CJ plays it into the far corner, and Alain Cote will clear it out for Boston. Don Sweeney back. Roberge bumps him, knocks his helmet off. Andy Moog went back in the net as if to play the puck, but the whistle had already sounded. And referee Ron Hogarth is headed for the penalty box. Looks toward Don Sweeney. Looks toward the Montreal player, but there will be no penalty. He's going the other direction. Everything is settled.
Turgeon getting his first action here in the divisional final. He was out with a cracked right kneecap. He had blocked a shot by Chris Chelios. Does not wear a brace or have the knee taped whatsoever. He said he can put his full body weight on his right leg when he bends down and does feel strong. He did not take any power play practice, however, and is seeing action on the fourth line.
Speaking of kneecap problems, Bobby Carpenter, the Bruins, will undergo surgery tomorrow. Kneecap cracked. And back for one game in that series with Hartford. The fracture opened up again. That long shot by Corson turned aside routinely by Moog. Loose puck. Richer had it, lost it. Chris Nyland is out for the Bruins, along with Janney and Marquardt.
Seeing a lot of dump in by Montreal. Getting the puck through the neutral zone, dumping it in, trying to generate offense from that particular play.
Bruins overlead everybody. The Canadians back with time to spare. Forced to clear it out. Odeline got hit hard in the corner as he went to flip one through center ice that ends up out of play.
Odeline sat out one game because of 2 game misconducts that he accumulated during the first Montreal series against Buffalo. If he gets another one, Jake, the suspension goes to 2 games, so he's got to be careful. He'll try and add a lot of muscle on the Montreal blue line. He plays it tough. Beers got his first shift and is still on the ice playing right defense for Boston as they had to make the change with Gary Galley out because of the hamstring injury.
Janney, Neely, and Ruzicka together now for the Bruins. Beers on the right side of the defense. Don Sweeney on the other, and the Canadians come away with the puck. Richer has dumped it in. Corson and Scriblin started in after it. Moog left it back in the net, and Don Sweeney finds Neely. Richer finds Neely. Richer can't steal the puck. Good heads-up play by Neely. Now through center ice, Janney crisscrossing with Ruzicka, and it's poked away by Odeline. Odeline with a lead pass to Richer, too far, and that's going to be an icing call against Montreal. We have played nearly 4 minutes of the opening period at the Boston Garden, waiting for the first goal of the game.
Each year, the experts at Car and Driver look at over 100 cars, so you don't have to. From the current new cars, they just picked their 10 best. At the most, you'll probably only buy one of them. That's too bad, because 2 of the 10 best are Mercury's. Mercury Sable and Mercury Tracer LTS. All this in the quality of a Mercury.
During last year's Boston Bruin-Washington Capitol Conference Final, Beers had a fractured leg. There's the hit. He went down. The leg was fractured above the right kneecap. And Jakesy has now a hollow steel rod that goes inside the bone from above his kneecap all the way up to his hip. And it's a rod that will be removed during this offseason. And here he is playing once again for Boston in the playoffs. You have to give him a lot of credit for a great comeback.
Indeed. I understand the leg maybe not as strong as the coaching staff would like it to be. They've already lost Quintal, and now they've, in game 1, lose Gary Galley, and they're forced to go to the depth. Ruzicka behind the back pass. Look at Wesley. Look at the save by Waugh. Neely from back of the net, around the boards. Here's Wesley. Lets it go, and it's deflected wide of the net. Patrick Waugh scoops it up and holds on for a face-off. Creativity on the part of the Boston Bruins, but they call the Las Vegas line, along with defenseman Glenn Wesley, making things happen.
Jegs, when the puck goes into the offensive zone, Ruzicka will try and put it in front, but you're going to see Wesley come as the late man to get the shot on goal. It's one thing about Boston, they have some offense. You'll see Ruzicka try to hit Neely, but actually you see Wesley coming in from behind. You see Neely trying to set up the screen, looking for a rebound, and Wesley will take the shot. There is a rebound, but Neely can't handle it. Good play by Wesley, reading an offensive opportunity and jumping in on the play.
Now the Bruins change their defense combination. Bork on the left side handles the puck. His long shot, he scores!
Davey Poulin wins the faceoff. Dave Christian holds up the man heading out. And it's just an innocent shot. It went through his screen and through the legs of Patrick Waugh. 1-0 Boston. An innocent-looking play. Jiggs, and Waugh did not get his stick down between the legs. That's where the puck went.
Well, Raymond Bourque with his third goal of the playoffs, giving the Bruins the lead at the 4:35 mark. Gilchrist plays the pass through center. Here's Savard over the Boston line, trying to go through traffic, but the play is offside. We're just over 5 minutes into the opening period. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.
This is a KBL News Break brought to you by KDKA TV2's Eyewitness News.
Good evening. I'm Stacy Smith. Giant Eagle Supermarkets could be in for a big strike this weekend. Almost 6,000 employees could walk off the job if the union and the company cannot come to terms on a new contract. Giant Eagle says it has made its final offer. The 13 members of the 14th Quartermaster Detachment who were killed by a Scud missile attack in Saudi Arabia will be remembered tomorrow at Fort Lee, Virginia. A monument honoring the soldiers from the Greensburg Army Reserve Unit will be unveiled at a special ceremony. Half of the Armstrong tunnels will be closed to traffic tomorrow. The outbound lanes will be closed from 6 a.m. until 6 at night as part of a refurbishing effort. Expect off and on rain throughout the weekend with temperatures only in the 50s. This has been a KBL News Break sponsored by KDKA TV Eyewitness News. More at 11 on Eyewitness News Tonight.
The off-ice officials tonight are from Hartford. The goal scored at the 4:35 mark of the opening period. There's Lefebvre with a long shot from center. Now reacting to the save by Andy Moog.
This is the matchup that the Bruins have wanted. To have Savard on the ice. Actually, we now have a Peterson interference penalty holding up Savard. But the Bruins wanted Poulin to go opposite Savard throughout this series. Denny Savard draws the first power play of this game.
Now how am I going to get there? It'll be great to see the guys again. I wonder if they'll all show. I just gotta get there.
I'm trying to make my way back to the Brackendale River.
Friends deserve the best.
This is great. They all showed up.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
What took you so long?
I had a little car trouble.
Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue.
Al Peterson in the penalty box grabbed a hold of Denny Savard, took him to the ice. So the big Boston defenseman is penalized at 5:17. Here's the play.
Right in front of Andy Moog in the slot. Savard tried to dance around Peterson. Peterson holding up Savard, knocking him down. The size difference, I think, causing that penalty. Montreal did not score a power play goal in game 1. They were 0 for 2. And Jiggs, they were 0 for last season in the playoffs against Boston. Their power play's got to work.
They're across the line here as Savard found Castles. Richer is not on the ice at the beginning of this power play for the Canadiens. Savard and Schneider on the points. Corson, Courtnall, and Castles, the forward combination. Matthew Schneider left the puck for Courtnall. To Savard. Comes over center ice and across the Boston line, pulling to the right wing. Castles gets checked. And the Bruins able to get it out of the zone. Up quickly is Dave Poulin. Gets around Courtnall, fires a long shot. Oh, I had no problem with that. Savard starts down the opposite side now. Comes over center. Lazaro is out to help kill this penalty. Got a piece of Savard, and Andy Moog works the puck around to Poulin and out of the zone.
Andy Moog is not noted as a good puck-handling goaltender, but he made a terrific play there to help his teammates fire the puck out of the zone.
Here's Richer out of the power play now with Corson and Savard. Look at the play by Richer. A wrap around into the goal mouth. Moog had it. Knocked away. Richer. E. Carbonell calling for it. It's shot off the pads of Bourque. Right to Savard. Corson out in front. They put it in the goal mouth, and it's cleared by the Bruin defense. Bob Sweeney dumps it down the ice.
That's why Savard is dangerous. He's playing right defense on the power play. He ended up in front of the net. Only Schneider back. He's very difficult to watch because he'll jump in all over in the offensive zone.
Richer couldn't get the puck to McPhee waiting at the Boston line. Now Lefebvre trying to dump it in. McPhee works it to the corner for Carbonell. Wesley on him as they went back to the net together. And there's Beers moving it to the left side. Randy Burridge has cleared it out of harm's way. 10 seconds left in the penalty to Peterson. One more rush for the Montreal Canadiens, perhaps. Charbonneau at center is checked by Neely. Here's works it to Wesley, takes a look at the clock. The teams are at full strength again. One more penalty kill chalked up for the Boston Bruins. Bruins 1, Canadiens nothing. The score in this game. Oaks hops the puck around the board. Too hot to handle for Cam Neely. Lefebvre dropped back. Now Desjardins goes rink wide. Strudlin moves up. Gets checked by Neely. Lost the puck to Janney. Janney fires one. Tipped in front. What a pad saved by Patrick Waugh. Just stuck the left pad out.
That was Lazaro driving to the net. Lazaro has great speed. It's a good timing play.
He's back in with Neely and Janney. This is Janney. Ray Bourque is shot again, a pad save. Janney frees the puck. Couldn't get control of it, however. And Lefebvre moves it up ice to Strudlin. He's left it in wide of Moog, who's out again to play it. This time it's up around the glass. Landed at the feet of Neely. He is covered. Strudlin and Bourque after it. The Bruins try the left side. Lazaro with a long pass to Neely. Pulls up on Dufresne, gets taken to the ice. And the Canadiens control the puck. Shane Corson leads a 3-on-3 attack. Can't get through that Boston defense. Ray Bourque after it. Bourque met by Strudlin as he plays it up the near side. And out of the zone comes Janney. Greg Janney, nice pass to Neely. Shoots from the point. Wow, went down to block that. Janney had the rebound. They couldn't slap it around Cote. Cote got the stick into Janney. Crowd yelling. Janney looking at referee Hogarth. There is no call. And the Bruins will put the puck back into the Montreal territory. Cote going back to the net. Gets checked. Chris Nyland after it. There's Ken Hodge as well. He's tied up with Dufresne. Nyland takes a hit from Cote, and the puck is covered for a face-off. The first scrum of the game now. Pushing and shoving. Marquardt and Corson.
There's two combatants. Cote did get the stick up in Janney's face a little bit. That upset a couple of the Bruins. Nicely broken up by the linesman.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better. And better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before. And cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
In Pittsburgh, here comes the Capitals. Dave Tippett unchecked. Frank Pietrangelo makes one save. Tippett with the rebound. And Dale Hunter gets his first playoff goal off the rebound. The Penguins being outshot 11-2 in the first.
And back here at Boston, we have a penalty call to Marquardt and another to Shane Corson. Offsetting penalties called at 8:57 of this opening period. Here, Boston leads 1-0, as you just saw. Washington jumping out to a lead in Pittsburgh. Bit of surprise, John.
Hunter had 6 assists, but no goals. During the entire Rangers series, Hunter did not have one scoring opportunity, but he did play well by mixing it up.
Here's Bob Beers with a drive and a blocking glove saved by Waugh. And again, the Bruins winning the face-off in the Montreal end of the ice.
Well, it's not often you see Castles take a defensive draw. It's usually been Charbonneau or Strudlin that may be Castles' last defensive draw.
Chris Nyland turning at the Boston line. Puck spins back in toward Moog as Keane is in forechecking. Roberge into forecheck now. In comes Castles as well, but the puck went to Nyland. To Ken Hodge. Trying to go wide and Oderline. Good shot. Fine save by Waugh, and there's no further play.
Oderline and Nyland. Two heavyweights pushed for a moment. Patrick Waugh with a save. Patrick Waugh had problems at the end of the season with a bad ankle, and what he does now prior to games is tape the ankle above the ankle to add support. And here's Hodge with no one to pass to, but he made sure he put the shot on net. And here's the classic style of Patrick Waugh right there. The butterfly down on the knees. For 7 years, he's worked with Francois Allard, the goaltending consultant for Montreal. Allard said he started first working Patrick Waugh's feet. That's what he does with goaltenders. Then he works up the feet, the legs, to the hands, to the body position. He said Patrick Waugh's improved mostly with his skating since he's become a Montreal goaltender. It's a goaltender with the organization. Skating has improved more than any other area of the game.
Would you recommend, as a former goaltender, that you start with the feet? Work on that?
I think so, because your feet control your balance.
There's a chance right from the draw again as Wesley went up the slot and tested Waugh. 10 shots on goal. for the Boston Bruins, only 4 for the Montreal Canadiens.
And the Bruins are killing Montreal on faceoffs. Their one goal is off a draw. Here's another scoring chance off a draw as Skrudland is beaten. Lots of interference again by Davy Christian. Interference allowing time for the shot by Wesley, and Patrick Waugh hangs on. Jiggs' shots were 4-4 after the power play by Montreal. So Montreal's had the last 6 shots. Boston's had the last 6 shots.
And they have Poulin out there to take the draw. Skriko on the left, Christian on the right. Ryan Skrudland facing off for Montreal. This time the Canadiens do control the puck. Moving it out of the zone was Desjardins. Turgeon chasing it. Weimer comes back. They collide. Jimmy Weimer stepped in front of Turgeon, but following the play was Skrudland. And the Canadiens can't hold it in the Boston end of the ice. Eric Desjardins drops back. Give it to Brian Skrudland. It was intended for Desjardins and broken up by the tight checking of the Bruins. Now the Canadiens able to clear it. And back goes Weimer.
Montreal had Turgeon on the line with Skrudland to try and get offense. Turgeon's had short shifts here. This is his first game he's played in the series.
Now Weimer for the Bruins. Banks one off the boards. It ends up behind the Montreal net, giving the Bruins a chance to make a change. 9.5 minutes remaining in the opening period at the Boston Garden. Ray Bourque, who has the only goal of the game, giving the puck to Al Peterson. Up the boards for Skriko. Pokes it in around the defenseman. Canadiens try to move out again. Sylvain Lefebvre, Mike McPhee, then cross ice to Ross Courtnall, and it's knocked away from him by Burry. Again, the Canadiens trying to come out of the zone. The Bruins had 3 men in to forecheck. Burridge reached up, knocked the puck out of the air, but it went right to Carbonneau. Now Peterson slaps it out of the air to a teammate, Peterson. Bob Sweeney, and he's dumped it down the ice. Cote will take it off the board. Around to the left side, and McPhee shot it right to Bourque. Long drive, deflects it into the net.
Ray Bourque's doing it all. You'll see Montreal get back, and it looks like they'll get the puck out of the zone without a problem. But Ray Bourque's there, and he makes like a shortstop. There's McPhee chipping it out. Bourque just turns it over, and the Bruins get a break as it redirects off of Ken Hodge in behind Patrick Waugh. Montreal has now called a timeout as Boston's carrying the play. McPhee had more time than he thought. Chipped it off the boards, and Ray Bourque made the play to keep it alive. And with Ken Hodge standing to the right side of Patrick Waugh, Hodge scores his second goal of the playoffs.
Ken Hodge, a local hero, giving the Bruins a 2-0 lead. Let's get an update on the other game. Check in with Bob Papa.
In Pittsburgh, here comes Mario Lemieux around the Capitol net. Feeds it in front for Phil Bourque, who gets his second goal of the playoffs. Penguins and Capitals are tied up at 1 apiece in the first. Backs to Jiggs and John Davidson.
Another look at the goal just scored here at the Boston Garden. That's Ray Bourque.
And it was a rolling puck, and there's Hodge. Goes off the leg and stick in behind Patrick Waugh. And Ray Bourque has a goal plus an assist here in the first period. Jiggs, the Bruins talked a little bit about Ray Bourque having a problem in game 1 passing the puck. Not real sharp. Some of the players told me this morning that watch Bourque tonight. He was passing the puck like a laser light this morning in practice. They said, watch Bourque. He's going to have a good one. And he said, quite a start here in the first period.
A goal and an assist for Bourque. 2-0 Boston. The Canadiens trying to come out of the zone once more. Mike Keane flips it into the Boston end. Back to the Bruins, number 77, Raymond Bourque. Canadiens hold it at the line, and a long shot kicked out by Moe. Had to dance on that one. Rico puts it in the skates of Dave Poulin. He's over the Montreal line, dropped it for Christian, and the shot bounces off Schneider right to Savard. 3 Bruins drop back. Savard floats it in. Moe got to the net, plays it around to the open side. Tracking it down is Petri Skriko. 3-on-2, now 4-on-2 as they cross the line with a pass to Christian, and it was in his skates. Matthew Schneider sends Keane to center ice, and the Canadiens can go no farther. Back on the play was Dave Poulin. the ice is Raymond Bourque. Grieco is ahead of them, and he puts the play offside with 7 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the opening period. Bourque has scored his third, Hodges second. It's 2-0 Boston.
Each year, the experts at Car and Driver look at over 100 cars, so you don't have to. From the current new cars, they just picked their 10 best. At the most, you'll probably only buy one of them. That's too bad, because 2 of the 10 best are Mercury's. Mercury Sable and Mercury Tracer LTS. All this in the quality of a Mercury.
Patrick Waugh started the game. In the background there, the right side of your picture, the backup goaltender, Andre Rasico. He has played in 2 playoff games thus far. Just not in this series. A total of only 12 minutes. Over the regular season, he did get into 21 games. Janney is into the Montreal zone. The pass just didn't get through to Lazaro in time.
Montreal has not had a quality scoring chance yet in this game.
They had only a handful. You could count them on one hand in game 1.
5.
Lazaro checked at the line. Here's Courtnall to McPhee. There's a chance, and Moe got a chunk of it. A delay penalty being called. Referee Ron Hogarth calling a hooking penalty. Andy Moe tested very rarely in this game.
Guy Carbonneau was hooked down, and I believe Lazaro will get the penalty. Lazaro is the player that had problems with a puck up near the Boston blue line. Courtnall fed McPhee. McPhee was at an angle here, tried to go to the long side. Andy Moe got weight at him and made a nice save. The first good scoring chance Montreal has had in this game, and Andy Moe did his job nicely. There's the hook as you see Carbonneau down on the ice.
Called at 12:51 of this opening period. Montreal's power play of the playoff teams, 9 power play goals on 39 chances. And Mike Milbury sending out a penalty killing unit of Evan Marquardt and Dave Poulin.
This time Montreal does start Richer on the number 1 unit for the power play.
Numbers for Montreal thus far in the playoffs. Includes the chance earlier when Peterson took an interference penalty back at 5:17 of this opening period.
Jigs, during the regular season, Montreal's power play was ranked 7th on home ice, but 20th on the road. Washington was ranked 21st on the road with the power play.
Montreal's power play against the Bruins over their 8 games during the regular season, just about where they were overall. And here's Marquardt breaking up the rush and testing Waugh with a shot into the chest protector as Waugh went down. Dane Corson starts out of his zone. Corson over center ice, bumped into Savard, who picked up the puck, putting the play offside. Miscommunication at the Boston line.
Denny Savard did not register a shot on goal in game 1 of this series. However, was +1 at even strength as he helped set up the Keene goal. Turgeon was pushed offside. And you can see Pat Burns starting to pace a little bit. You see a very concerned look on his face. They had a full practice yesterday, short, hard practice. Today they opted for the optional with only Keene and Dufresne of the regular players practicing for Montreal.
Now Schneider hammers the puck into the Boston end of the ice. It's recovered by Bourque up the middle with that. And the Bruins give chase. Patrick Waugh to the net. Banks one off the left wing boards into the skates of Corson. Loose at center ice, and Poulin comes back.
Jigs, when Boston's close to getting the puck out of their own zone penalty killing here, Poulin is heading up ice. Maybe looking for the breakaway pass. The Bruins have not scored a shorthanded goal in the playoffs. And Montreal has given up 2 in that Buffalo series.
Canadians end up firing the puck into the zone again, trying that hard around, and Savard traps it at the blue line. He's given it to Schneider. Centers one. It's grabbed out of the air by Moe. Dropped it, then covers it. 50 seconds left in the Boston penalty to Lazaro.
Jigs, the Canadians are dumping the puck in hard, but let's watch this side of the ice. 4 different players are going to go over there and try and control the puck. The idea is to have the players on the side of the ice where the puck is coming to. Now you see 3 of them, now you'll see 4. Montreal players move across. All four along there, they did control it and finally got it across to set up their power play. There's the puck moving across. That's how you overload one side to control the puck when it's dumped in on the power play, and almost a deflection by Richer.
Now they'll line up in the circle to the right of Andy Moog. Courtnall is on the left, McPhee on the right side, Carbonneau in the middle to take the draw, wins the faceoff. Savard snuck in off the right point, gets it to Schneider. For Courtnall, he goes to the far side of the ice, and there's McPhee. Wesley takes him to the board. The Canadians maintain control of the puck, however. Savard pass is picked off. Bob Sweeney up the middle. Savard closing in, and Schneider will recover the puck here. Pass to Courtnall. He steps over the line. Courtnall pulls to the right, can't center it. Carbonneau can't get to it. Here's Savard. His weak backhander is cleared away by Wesley and ends up in the seat.
Diggs, I've never seen so many quality offensive players get on a power play and look really nervous at handling the puck. We just saw Savard get to the puck in the slot, couldn't get it done. His power play does not look good at all.
Something has happened in the game at Pittsburgh, the one between the Caps and the Penguins. Let's get an update. Bob, what do you have?
In Pittsburgh, here come the Penguins and Kevin Stevens. Don Beaupre makes the save, but Joe Mullen, who came back from an injury, scores his second goal of the playoffs. 2-1 Penguins late in the first. Back to Jiggs and JD.
Jiggs, that goal Mullen scored prior to that one was against New Jersey, a big goal, and it's great to see a comeback like that. He had surgery where they went through the front of his neck to repair a herniated disc on the spine in his neck, and there he is back playing. It's quite a story.
A lot of the skeptics said that he wouldn't be back. No matter how far the Pittsburgh Penguins went in the playoffs, probably wouldn't see Joey. Well, Joey Mullen is back. Don't the Penguins know it now?
He had to take a couple of weeks of practice where there was contact involved in order to see if he would be able to handle the contact and play.
As we get set for this face-off, Skrudland and Poulin on the draw. 20 seconds in the Montreal power play. All start. They'll line up again. 1 second ticked off the clock. Canadians with Desjardins and Lefay together on defense now. Keane and Corson flanking Brian Skrudland. Poulin and Bob Sweeney with Wesley and Bourque for the Bruins, and again somebody stepped in too quickly. Linesman Randy Mitten reminding them to stay on the edge of the face-off circle. Everybody complies. The puck put in play, and the Canadians win the draw. Lefay shot hits Poulin. There's Keane with a drive that deflects and goes out of play.
Jiggs, we talked to Mike Milbury, Boston's coach, this morning regarding defensive zone draws, face-offs. He said, we don't mind if you don't win the draw, but don't lose it clean. If you lose it clean, it gives the pointman time to take shots. He says if we lose a draw, make sure you tie up the centerman, fight for the loose puck, and that allows your wingers time to get out to cover the pointmen if they don't get the clean shots. That last draw was a pretty good example of it.
Had a look at Milbury. Concentration. Now he's waving toward the penalty box just to remind Lazaro what he wants him to do once the final 12 seconds ticks off from the penalty, and the Canadians get control of the puck in the Boston end. They put it in front and it rolled right across the front of the goal. Comes back to Schneider for a shot. Moog stretching out, got a chunk of that. That came through a screen set up, and Poulin works it cross ice. Bob Sweeney trying to tip it around to Desjardins. Canadians tighten up, and out comes Skrudland. Up to Keane, the pass was behind him.
Montreal's been better since they called that timeout. They picked their play up a little bit and haven't given Boston a whole lot.
Now the Bruins come up 3-on-2, but turn the puck over at the Montreal line. Mike Keane has it. Keane into the Boston zone with a feed to Corson, and the shot was well wide of the net. Lazaro ran into Carbonneau, and the Canadians move it back in the net to Keane. Now to Dufresne at the point. He's shooting, and that's blocked. Chris Nyland with a nice pass to Hodge. Down the right side. Hodge with a blast. Rippled the outside of the net. Beers after it. Bob Beers in deep. Puts it back to the net. There's Corson. Nyland picks him up and takes him down. Literally picked him up and hauled him down. Play is allowed to continue. Chris Nyland down on one knee has nudged the puck loose. And the Canadians control it again. Alain Cote, number 5, who used to play for the Boston Bruins, has the puck now. He's given it to Donald Dufresne, Brett Gilchrist, and then to Richer. He and Turgeon move up. Hard drive by Richer, just missed. Oh, just stood there. Kenny gets pulled off the puck. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Gilchrist, will get the gate for pulling the Bruin away from the puck. And once more, Boston goes to the power play.
What is refreshing? It's the taste. The taste that could only come from a cold blue light right out of the ice. Now that's refreshing.
Stanley Cup action on Sports Channel America, coming to you from beautiful Boston. I'm Jigs McDonald, along with John Davidson. Watch the Bruins take a 2-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Now they get a chance with the power play.
Montreal had it going pretty good, and Gilchrist gets caught hooking in the offensive zone. And I don't think Pat Burns, who is a disciple of discipline, will be very happy with that call. Or the penalty, I mean, to Gilchrist. Gilchrist in the offensive zone shouldn't have been caught.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the action between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals. Pittsburgh leading there 2-1, and here, as you see, the Bruins have a 2-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Bourque and Hodge have scored. And an interesting situation, referee Ron Hogarth has gone to both benches. He's just skating by the Boston bench now, talking, seemed to be the hand signal.
That and the slow changes. Pat Burns with a deliberate slow change after Hogarth made the penalty call to Gilchrist. This is very important for Montreal to kill this off as Boston have the 2-0 lead.
Bruins power play features Skriko, Neely, and Janney up front. Bourque and Wesley on the points. That's Wesley with a pass to Skriko. Cross ice, here's Neely. Big try, but a good stick save made by Patrick Waugh. Wesley holds it at the right point. Gave it to Janney. Janney at the top of the circle. Centers up. Skriko and Waugh down has covered the puck. Again, it's through a screen. And alert Patrick Waugh as you look at Cam Neely.
The Bruins getting success with redirecting the puck in front of Patrick Waugh. That's how Hodge scored the second goal of this first period.
Neely will take this face-off as Janney goes to the right and Skriko on the left.
Another slow change by Montreal. This time Carbonneau goes off. Skrudlin on for the face-off to the left side, the near side of Patrick Waugh. The Bruin players talked about Skrudlin's strength on the face-off, and Neely has taken a lot of face-offs in the offensive zone on the power play.
Strength against strength, and Neely kicks the puck back. Ray Bourque to Glenn Wesley. To the point for Bourque. Fires one up high. Waugh got in front of it. The Bruins, Neely was bumped and knocked down, but had the puck momentarily, and then it's cleared down the ice. Raymond Bourque back. Skrudlin was into forecheck. Now he peels off. Forechecking roll taken by McKee. Skrudlin is back in as Neely goes rink wide. Wesley is over the line, but the play is offside. Bruins leading 2-0. There's Brian Skrudlin.
A good athlete, former baseball player. He was telling us a story that during the off seasons, actually when he was playing junior hockey as a youth in the province of Saskatchewan, during the off season, the summertime, the Cincinnati Reds would hold baseball camps up near where he lived, and about 200 kids would go and try out. By the end of the session, they'd be down to about 40 kids, and he'd be one of them. He was a pitcher and a shortstop. He said, as a selfish hockey player, though, I wanted to have my off seasons off, so I gassed baseball and got into playing a little more hockey and turned pro.
I wonder if he's ever had any regrets looking at some of those baseball contracts now.
And the time off that the ball players had.
50 seconds left in this penalty to Gilchrist. And out come the Boston Bruins. Skriko dropped it back to Bourque. Left side to Wesley. Steps over the line. Wesley in a little deeper. Puts it back in the net. It's tipped away from Neely. He can't get to it again. Corson forces the Bruins down the ice. Dean into forecheck on Ray Bourque. The pass right to the stick of Wesley. Right to the stick of Skriko and up to Janney. Back to Skriko. Trying to cut in off right wing. Is turned back by Schneider. Skriko makes the pass to Bourque. It seemed to bob it a little on him and taken here by Guy Carbonneau. Up to Courtnall. Courtnall pulls up on Sweeney and puts it in deep. 8 seconds remaining in the penalty. And the Canadians are forced back as Janney moves the puck into the Montreal zone. Waits, holds it, turns on Cote. Still waits, then dumps it back to the net. Bob Sweeney being pushed away by Snyder. Sweeney maintained control, gave it to Janney. Janney to Sweeney, goes back to the net. Comes out in front of the backhand and then gets it again. Another shot is wide. That's Burridge back to the net. Here's Janney. Loose puck for Burridge, jabbing at it. It's underneath the defense and now cleared to the corner. Gilchrist has it for Montreal. A minute and 20 seconds remaining in the opening period. Gilchrist bounced it right to Andy Moog. Moog smartly plays it to Bob Sweeney. Back to the other side for Don Sweeney. Weaving through center and then turns it over at the Montreal line. Boston in the middle of a change. Poulin has come out on the ice. Andy Burridge moves up, trying to knock the puck loose. It went to Beers covering the blue line. And here's Don Sweeney dumping it in. Now the Bruins complete the player change. Less than a minute to go in this first period as Corson puts the puck on the stick of Savard into the slot, and he shot it just wide on the stick side of Andy Moog. Savard digs it off the boards, gave it to Richer from back of the net, a wraparound, hits the outside of the goal. Poulin plays it up the near boards, Dufresne pinching in. Donald Dufresne, the Montreal defenseman, can't get it to Savard, and out comes Poulin. Through center ice, 3 Canadians back. Bruins have to wait as Poulin got up ahead of the puck.
Jake, the man in the defensive position, was Stéphane Richer. As Dufresne had pinched, Richer filled in on the defense. And Richer was standing still as Poulin tried to make the move. I think Montreal was lucky.
There's Richer with a long shot from the point. Andy Moog, after blocking it, clears the territory. Savard puts it back in. Bob Beers takes it from Moog, gave it to Wesley, up the boards, not out, long shot. Deflects wide, just as the siren sounds to end the opening period.
It was a Ray Bourque first period. A goal plus an assist. Boston another strong period defensively. And for Andy Moog, only 3 goals he's given up over his last 12 periods of play.
At the end of 1, Bruins 2, Montreal nothing as we pause for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.
Rock and roll is okay, but I prefer rap.
Awesome. Wait a second. Shady Acres was supposed to get the Coke, and the frat house was supposed to get the Pepsi.
Coke, Pepsi, what's the difference?
I-24. This is radical.
Bowser Pontiac Subaru at Isuzu, Pittsburgh's headquarters for the guaranteed lowest price on over 600 new cars, trucks, and 4x4s. And during Bowser's 8th anniversary sale, see Pittsburgh's best selection of Pontiacs, including Sunbirds, Grand Prix, Firebirds, and Bonnevilles, with factory-to-dealer incentives and power volume discounts for savings up to $5,000. The guaranteed lowest price means you can buy a Grand Am for $82.99. Pittsburgh's sales and customer satisfaction leader is Bowser Pontiac Subaru at Isuzu.
All human animals hunger for trusting relationships. Me, I trust my Snapper dealer. Just ask him about his total protection warranty. Talk about trust. And about your free $50 or $100 U.S. savings bond when you buy a new Snapper mower and additional Snapper items. Gentlemen, how about a hug?
See the full line of Snapper products at these local Snapper dealers.
For my family, Tartar Control Aquafresh fights tartar and makes you feel this fresh.
Tartar Control Aquafresh helps remove plaque and makes you feel this fresh.
Tartar Control Aquafresh fights cavities
and makes you feel this fresh.
Only Tartar Control Aquafresh is the fresh way to fight cavities, fight plaque, and fight tartar, all with one great Aquafresh taste.
Tartar Control Aquafresh.
It fights tartar
and makes you feel this fresh.
We're at the end of the first period. It's the Bruins 2, the Montreal Canadiens nothing. Ray Bourque with a goal and an assist. Bourque opened the scoring at the 4:35 mark. Assist to Poulin and Christian. And then Hodge with a shot from Bourque ricocheting off Hodge, making it 2-0 at 11:10. Shots on goal by the Bruins 15, by the Montreal Canadiens 10. And Boston comfortably in front by a score of 2-0. Fine young Boston defenseman Glenn Wesley joins me. Glenn, the other night when you lost the services of Gary Galley, you were shifting back and forth between the left and right side. Where are you more comfortable?
Well, Jiggs, I'm more definitely comfortable on the left side. That's mostly where I've played all my career, but I've played a little bit on the right side throughout the year, so I'm fairly familiar with it, and you know, it's nothing new to me.
You get an opportunity to play with Ray Bourque, and there are times, too, when you're on the bench. I'm sure you marvel, as we do, at his ability and that shot of his.
Yeah, it's, you know, he's a great player, and when you're a great player, you're going to get some lucky bounces once in a while, and all we've been wanting to do is throw the puck to the net, and you never know what's going to happen. So as long as we keep throwing the puck and getting some chances, we're going to get those rebounds.
You yourself had a couple of chances in that first period that we've just watched.
Yeah, it's, you know, I got a couple good chances, and, you know, we've made some good plays pulling up at the blue line, and we got some great forwards to find holes for us, and you know, I got a couple good shots, and we've been really strong on the draws.
Yeah, that's a key area, and the Bruins have maintained control, taken control. I know you've got a bit of a cue system going with your coach, too. Head shake, is it, to let him know you're ready to go again?
Well, that's pretty much all it is. Myself and Ray are trying to be out there as much as possible, and playing penalty killing, and especially being out against their top line all the time.
Glenn, thanks for the visit. The Bruins are leading by a score of 2-0. We're at the end of the opening period at the Boston Garden. We'll have more following these messages.
When sports cream, when arms are sore, when legs ache, when muscles hurt, why Sports Cream? Massaging Sports Cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell, no odor. Why Sports Cream? Because it works.
Over 28 million adults get athlete's foot.
I'm Jim Berg. I had athlete's foot until I used NP27. It has an ingredient recommended by doctors.
Look, NP27 stops the burning, itching of athlete's foot fast.
NP27. Nothing's a better cure for athlete's foot.
This is where it happened. The breakthrough in urethane chemistry that created a car polish so technologically advanced, one application lasts an entire year. Introducing Finish 2001, the car polish you use only once every 12 months. This old car's been badly neglected. Its finish appears destroyed. With no rubbing, no buffing, Finish 2001 with its urethane formula safely brings back the showroom shine, a rich, deep gloss shine that lasts an entire year. We tested Finish 2001 against other leading polishes, even some that claim to protect your car against fire or against acid. And the test results? Nothing, but nothing protects or shines better than Finish 2001, the 12-month car polish with a 100% money-back guarantee.
Finish 2001 is available at these fine stores.
When it's heartburn,
Plus gas.
get new Tom's Plus. Calcium-rich antacid relief plus gas-busting simethicone.
No other antacid gives you that.
New Tom's Plus.
Here are the first-round winners and the fans' choice for MVP. In the Campbell Conference, rock-solid defense and a tough work ethic make Detroit's Brad McCrimmon the top vote-getter with 22% of the vote. Brad barely beat out Wayne Gretzky of the Kings, who had 21%. In the Wales Conference, perennial all-star Ray Bourque of the Boston Bruins garnered 20% of the vote to finish ahead of Washington goaltender Don Beaupre. Don't forget to vote for your MVP in the second round. Call 1-900-896-2333. You must know your MVP's team and jersey number.
Bob Papa back at our New York studios. Boston leads Montreal 2-0 at the end of one period of play. The Pittsburgh Penguins and Washington Capitals are going at it. And early on, Paul Coffey a bit disgruntled. He can't cash in on a breakaway chance, but Dale Hunter of the Capitals, he doesn't miss. He picks up Dave Tippett's rebound and puts it in goal. 1-0 Capitals. Penguins outshot early on 11-2 by the Capitals. Just over a minute later, though, Phil Bourque will tie the game off Mario Lemieux's pass in front, and we are tied up at 1 apiece. And the Penguins really start to turn it on. Under 2 minutes to go in the first period, Joe Mullen finds a rebound in a high slot, beats Don Beaupre. Penguins with a 2-1 lead at the end of one period of play at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh as they try to even up that series at 1 game apiece. More of the 1991 Stanley Cup playoffs after this timeout.
This is the Acura Legend. We would like you to test drive it. But before you do, we suggest you test drive the Mercedes 300e, the BMW 525i, the Volvo 940 SE, the Infiniti Q45, and the Lexus LS400. Then drive the Acura Legend, and you'll buy the Acura Legend. For under $30,000, it's a lot more car for a lot less money. Test drive it now at your Western Pennsylvania Acura dealer. There may never be a better time.
Ordinarily, I find weekends mowing with my snapper to be a rewarding route to ego gratification. Unfortunately, Mother Nature does sometimes intercede.
Hi. Mowing called on a can of rain? How about some company?
Which only serves as a reminder that one must not neglect the social animal within.
Snapper walk mowers starting at $299.95 at these local Snapper dealers.
Easy pull, quick start, and check out this 21-inch mowing deck and 6-speed on-the-go shifting and...
KTV2's Eyewitness News.
Good evening. I'm Stacey Smith. The U.S. is questioning Iraq's accuracy in a count of that country's arsenal of mass destruction weapons. Iraq says it has no nuclear or biological weapons to be destroyed as part of a UN mandate. The U.S. does not believe that. Secretary of State Jim Baker and Israeli leaders have been discussing European and Israeli ideas for a Mideast peace conference. Israeli sources say the meeting ended without an accord. The FAA and U.S. Air are investigating what is believed to be called a mock hijacking. A Lebanese-American couple claim they were terrified after 2 U.S. Air flight attendants donned costumes to fake a hijacking on a flight from Pittsburgh to West Palm Beach. Giant Eagle employees are threatening to walk off the job this weekend if contract terms are not worked out. This has been a KBL News Break sponsored by KDKA-TV Eyewitness News. More at 11 on Eyewitness News Tonight.
Welcome back to our New York studios. Period number 2 underway in Pittsburgh, and the Penguins get a power play goal just 35 seconds into the period. Mario Lemieux over to Paul Coffey, and Mark Recchi with the gorgeous deflection. 3-1 Penguins in the second. Now here's Rick Peckham and Jerry Cheevers.
By Samuelson, we welcome the audience that has been watching Boston-Montreal here to the Civic Arena, the sold-out Civic Arena, and they're up and roaring. A slow start by the Penguins was turned around quickly in that first period as Pittsburgh tied up the Capitals at 1. They've gone ahead 3-1 and a power play goal early here in the second by Mark Recchi. Rick Peckham and Jerry Cheevers with you tonight. Here's a shot that's off the side of the goal by Dino Ciccarelli, and we get a whistle now as Bourque bumps with Ciccarelli, and that draws a crowd. As we're early here in the second with 18:04 remaining in it. The Penguin goals, Phil Bourque, Joey Mullen, Mark Recchi after Dale Hunter opened the scoring. And we'll return with more from the Civic Arena right after this.
Too much of a good thing is a good thing. The new, incredibly comfortable Mercury Grand Marquis. All this on the quality of a Mercury.
Kevin Stevens will be serving a bench penalty for too many men on the ice against Pittsburgh. We're early here in the second period, 18:04 left in it, as the Penguins trying to tie this series up have the lead at 3-1, and their penalty killing will be tested here. They surrendered, as Jerry mentioned earlier, 2 power play goals to the Capitals in the first game of the series, as Bob Johnson, flanked by assistant Barry Smith and Rick Patterson, you saw walking into your picture. Rick Kehoe works from out of the press box up here.
Well, the Capital power play has really come to life, and there's a mix-up down in front of the Penguins bench, and Kevin Collins caught the infraction, and we'll see if the Capitals penalty killing can remain hot.
Randy Gillett is working on this shorthanded unit with Joey Mullen.
I should say the Capitals power play remain hot. Once again, Rick, the key to their power play success is Iafrate and Hatcher in the point. If you don't get out to cover them, they can drive it towards the net. They have great shots. And if you do get out to cover them, it opens it up down low.
Gillen is replacing Scott Young in the Pittsburgh lineup tonight, and he's a penalty-killing ace. Al Iafrate works with the Hatcher behind Ridley. Miller and Cicerelli with the puck at Samuelson. Plays it ahead to Gillen. Gillen belted by Iafrate. Beaupre moves it back to Mike Ridley. Hatcher rink wide to Kelly Miller. Got 5 goals in the playoffs. Deals it over to Cicerelli. Shooting, couldn't get good wood on it. Stopped by Pietrangelo. Capitals hold it in. It's Iafrate giving it to Miller. Checked by Gordy Roberts. Iafrate has it back with 1:10 of the penalty. He walks in. He fires it. It's tipped wide by Miller. Miller struggles to get to it. Samuelson knocked it loose. Ridley tries to get it in front. Taken away by the veteran Roberts, and he will send the Capitals back.
What a move by Iafrate at the right point on, of all people, Joe Mullen, the experienced Joey Mullen. You're not supposed to.
All right, we will keep you posted on the Penguins and Capitals. Pittsburgh with a 3-1 lead in the second period. When we come back, we will take you back to the Boston Garden for the start of period 2. The Bruins lead Montreal by a 2-0 score as the 1991 Stanley Cup playoffs roll on after this.
His hair is a little thinner.
I don't remember her looking so beautiful.
Not bad. For an ex-jock. Hello, stranger.
I'm hardly a stranger.
Well, you are late.
I know. You shouldn't have waited 10 years for this. Happy anniversary.
The Diamond Anniversary Band. Tell her you'd marry her all over again.
You sure can pick an appetizer.
Tough on persistent dandruff, Head & Shoulders Intensive Treatment presents the NHL's greatest hits. Clean, rugged hits are one of the NHL's most dramatic features. And few players, if any, hit harder than Edmonton's Steve Smith. The 6'4" in Scotland native has anchored the Oilers' defense so successfully that the team has won 3 of the last 4 Stanley Cups. Steve Smith delivers some of the NHL's greatest hits.
Welcome back to the Boston Garden. Jakes McDonald with John Davidson.
Jakes, Montreal.
The second period.
I'm sorry. Montreal have got to get their offensive players going. Savard, Courtnall, Richer. Courtnall's been playing with that hip pointer problem. He has had the hip area, the area that's sore, injected with Novocaine to freeze it up so it doesn't become quite as painful. And it's a tough way to play, but he's out there giving it his best shot.
That time of the year, you got to play. And Odeline is back in the lineup tonight, handling the puck here as the second period gets underway. Skrudland lays it down the boards. Don Sweeney has given it to Bork. To Skriko, the pass under his stick, and the Boston Bruins are going to be called for icing the puck.
When you look at shots on goal for the first period, Richer had 2, Savard had 2. One of Richer's shots from outside the blue line. A lot of people associated with the Montreal Hockey Club feel that Richer has got to have a strong series. When you talk about Richer having a strong series, it means scoring. He has to have a strong scoring series for Montreal to win the thing. So far, he has not been a factor.
He goes to the left side as Grudlin moves in to take the face-off with Poulin. Canadians win this draw, and Schneider's shot got through and turned aside by Moog. Corson lets it go. Moog stretches up to block that. And back to the net. Look at the moves by Richer. Put it in the slot. Skrudland well covered by Don Sweeney. And again, the Bruins end up icing the puck. So they'll bring it all the way back to the Boston zone. The Bruins comfortable, it appeared, with a 2-0 lead.
I got a meter.
Down, boy.
Oh, it's now or never.
Attention, shoppers. You're at a romantic dinner at her place. Candlelight, wine, something with a little spinach in it. And for dessert,
come on,
humble pie. Because she sees your dandruff.
I don't have dandruff.
Fine. Use your regular shampoo.
I can't have dandruff.
Aisle 9.
You mean you use Head & Shoulders?
Yeah.
But you don't have dandruff.
Right. Neither will she.
Head & Shoulders.
Hi.
Because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Face-off coming to the left of Andy Moog's net. Guy Carbonneau. And Ken Hodge. Carbonneau won the draw. McPhee stepped in and his shot was blocked. Now comes back toward the blue line, and Courtnall golfs one over the net. Carbonneau puts it in front. And it's cleared rink wide by Ruzicka. Hodge, Neely, and Ruzicka. Now the Bruins begin to change. And Janney comes out. So they have what they call the Las Vegas line. Ruzicka along with Neely and Janney, and here's Cam Neely to the backhand, and the shot stays wide. Janney puts it in front. Has it again from back of the net. Janney left it there. Ruzicka can't move it back toward Janney. Janney does take it away from Schneider, and it comes all the way back to Weimer. His shot to a screen, bounces under the pads of Moog. Another close call. It's Patrick Waugh, not Moog, obviously.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game on Sports Channel America is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft Light. There's only one light beer with a big taste of Miller Genuine Draft, cold-filtered Genuine Draft Light. By Valvoline, people who know use Valvoline. And by Finish 2001, the car polish of the future that brings back that showroom shine today.
During last year's playoffs, the Capitals' John Druce was on the loose. This year, he's wearing a noose, but he finally shakes loose and gets his first goal of the playoffs, a power play goal, 3-2 Penguins in the second.
You all know that Bob stayed up late last night for that overtime goal in Los Angeles. Those are very creative.
Jigs here. Boston continues to use Neely as the centerman for the draw in the offensive zone. He's much stronger than is Janney. So the feeling is if there's a loose puck, he perhaps can get it back.
Bruins did win the draw. Weimer dumps it back of the net. And Neely chases it to the near corner. Gets turned around by Desjardins. And Carbonneau with an outlet that's tipped over the glass and on into the seats.
Now, when Neely just won that draw, he won it clean. But he won it from McPhee, as the Canadian Hockey Club only had one centerman on the ice. Carbonneau had been thrown out. Watch Neely with his quickness. Just draw it right back to the point. A quick, clean, concise win. Cam Neely was one of 3 players who did not practice yesterday. Janney was another. And the feeling is that Neely's had that thigh problem, so they try to rest him as much as possible between games.
Watch the Bruins going back for a loose puck here. Jim Weimer up the boards to Ruzicka. Ruzicka overled Weimer, and Desjardins is back at the Montreal line. His pass is tipped through center by Carbonneau to McPhee. Weimer right in his face as he dumped it in. Wesley takes it from Andy Moog. Glenn Wesley with a pass out of the reach of Janney. Ends up deep in the Montreal territory. That whistle is for icing. Early in the second period at the Boston Garden, a lot of things happening in Pittsburgh. Let's go back and get an update on that game with Washington. Bob?
Well, the Penguins quickly answer back without a limerick. Paul Coffey with the shot. Mark Recchi deflects it in. A power play goal. Recchi's second of the game. 4-2 Penguins in the second. Back to Jigs and J.D.
And here both teams are completing player changes. Boston on top by a 2-0 score. Bourque and Hodge having scored the goals tonight. Montreal sending out Savard. He has Keane with him. And the other forward is Sylvain Turgeon. That's Nevin Marquardt. He's on a line with Peterson. Well, Peterson is the defenseman. It'll be Knuckles Nyland and Dave Poulin.
Jigs, remember Gilchrist took that penalty in the offensive zone. He hasn't played much since. He could be in the old Chateau Bow Wow, as the Canadian club did not like that. Plus, they want to try and get Turgeon into the lineup to provide some offense for their club.
They get the draw, and then Schneider shot one well wide of the net. It rolls along the top of the boards and down the ice. Look out, there's Chris Nyland, but Schneider is over in time. Now Bourque holds the puck in. He thumped Turgeon pretty good, too. Patrick Waugh was unable to move it around the boards cleanly. Dave Poulin gets tied up with a couple of Canadians. The puck finds its way to Marquardt, turns back of the net. Poulin tracks it down, feeds the blue line. Here's Bourque with a shot, change direction. Hit Marquardt, who had been knocked down in front. There's going to be a penalty to Montreal. An interference penalty will give the Boston Bruins the power play. 2-0 Bruins at the Boston Garden, still early in the second period.
There's only one light beer with the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered Genuine Draft Light.
We're on our way.
Yeah, we'll be ready.